We've got more views from the Republican National Convention that has now concluded their third day. We'll end with the fact check that comes directly after as well, because it's typically more lies than it is facts. So let's pull a couple of these clips, starting with one of the crowd that was outside to see what kind of audience the current MAGA party draws in. So yeah, it's a bunch of white kids dancing like monkeys and making monkey noises to a black woman who was minding her business protesting for Palestine. But you know, racism isn't real, right? And if it is real, it's definitely the Democrats that are doing it. That narrative kind of just falls apart though through clips like this. And it's crazy because the RNC actually used this in their programming, stating that not all college kids have gone woke. So at this point, to them, not being woke is just doing blatant racism.
And a whole army of illiterate, illegal aliens stealing the jobs of black, brown, and blue-collar Americans. They put them right on your front doorstep.
This part is just a flat out lie. We've now interviewed multiple authors of studies in this matter. You can check them out. I'll put them on the screen. But to just show the findings that they've had from their studies, immigrants act more as job creators than job takers. And when they do join the workforce, it actually has a positive effect on labor demand, which means it creates the necessity for more jobs while having no negative effects on employment for native-born workers. Undocumented immigrants typically work jobs deemed undesirable by American workers, thus taking vacant jobs that no one else would fill, and they pay massively into Social Security and Medicare while doing so through ITINs.
When I was a senior in high school, that same Joe Biden supported the disastrous invasion of Iraq. Somehow, a real estate developer from New York City by the name of Donald J. Trump was right on all of these issues while Biden was wrong.
This claim is highly misleading at best. In reality, Donald Trump was supportive of the invasion of Iraq. When he was asked 6 months before the invasion by Howard Stern whether he was for an invasion, he said, quote, "Yeah, I guess so. I wish the first time it was done correctly." Then 2 months before the invasion, he said on Fox News that President Bush, and this is a direct quote, has either got to do something.
It's really just whatever they can say to paint the narrative of Trump being anti-war, when in reality, he did far more drone strikes than Obama did. He just repealed the law that ruled that he had to report on them and the deaths from them. And he also signed the disastrous Doha Agreement with Afghanistan, which left the Afghanistan army out of negotiations, instead working directly with the Taliban, and agreed to give them land and such without even notifying Afghanistan. So when he withdrew our troops, like, the Afghanistan army didn't even know what was happening when the Taliban came in and was like, yeah, no, this territory is ours now. And like I said, he pulled out all of our troops but 2,500 and left all the important and expensive weaponry, then just kicking the can down to the road to Biden.
A former Trump advisor, Peter Navarro, who's fresh out of prison, falsely claimed Jack Smith prosecuted him. Smith did not. A Florida Congressman, Mike Waltz, mocked Biden for allegedly being focused on building electric tanks. That is pure fiction. Biden has made no push for electric tanks, though the Army does want some other vehicles to be electrified. Various speakers depicted a country with rampant crime and violence without acknowledging that violent crime is now lower than it was in Donald Trump's last year in office, 2020. Former House Speaker Newt Gingrich said Trump orchestrated an orderly end to the war in Afghanistan. Trump didn't actually orchestrate a withdrawal at all. Gingrich also claimed no U.S. soldier was killed in nearly 2 years there. There was not any 2-year period under Trump when 0 U.S. troops were killed in Afghanistan. And finally, conservative commentator Kimberly Guilfoyle, Donald Trump Jr.'s fiance, declared that Trump handed Joe Biden a booming economy. You might remember what things were actually like in January 2021. The unemployment rate was 6.4%.
Not only was there not 2 years in Afghanistan where troops didn't die under Trump, more died there under Trump than did so under Biden. 64 U.S. troops died in Afghanistan under Trump. They died every single year, while only 13 died under Biden withdrawing, again having to do so in dire circumstances due to Trump's actions directly before leaving office. But that 13 is lower than every single year of Trump's as well, except for 2020. And Trump hardly handed Biden a strong economy. I mean, inflation went negative, and then in the 10 months before Biden took office, it doubled each single month. GDP was the lowest of any developed top 7 country. Unemployment was over 6%. Wages were down. The stock market was crashing, and jobs were lost. The real person handed a golden economy was Trump, who went on to underperform it and then destroy it during COVID. And now somehow he gets credit from his base because COVID doesn't matter, but it all matters for Biden because he had a better starting point than Biden did.